Okay, so as we said, in the interior, I'll go through all the buttons. This one here is for your radio. So if you press it to turn on the radio, and then obviously rotate to increase and decrease the volume. It also increases the volume on your hands-free, and also if you've got your phone connected either via Bluetooth, which is very poor on this, or via the cable, because it's got a USB port, much better sound, just like it's coming from the radio itself. It also increases and decreases the volume of that. This is your site selection menu. So if you go to the main screen, you start off with the radio itself, and you've got DAB, medium wave, and it's all right. It's not the best user friendly. If you go over once more, you've got media. That's where you'd pair your phone or your iPod, for those who've still got iPods. I have. Nothing paired. Go back to the main menu. So you go across once more, sat navigation, not bad again, a little bit vague with the directions in some instances. The map's very outdated. It's a 17 plate, so I dare say there's an update, but there's a fair few roads that aren't on there. And if you scroll up or move the toggle switch to move from the menus, and then if I scroll up, go over to map, it gives you a view, and then again with this switch, if you rotate or twist it anti-clockwise, you can go out. It does have an auto function when you're on the sat nav. I'm sure you must be able to override it, but when you're going through a navigation on the auto, it just reverts to being close in. I think it takes you to about there. That's the normal setup. And if you knock it right when you've got your navigation set, I don't know, it just reverts back again. It's a bit annoying, but I didn't bother looking into how you overcome it. So that's your sat nav. Phone, obviously pairing your phone for hands-free. The one thing I have found, which is an optional extra, is that there's no hands-free, so there's no voice control, which is a huge surprise. So you've got to mess about twisting this control, and it is hugely distracting when you're driving at normal speeds, to have to keep twisting, you know, dials and looking at what the screen's doing. And then go over once more for setup. There's not a great deal on there. You've got display, which is when you put your instrument lights, you can either have it on day, which means they're always set at a brightness. You can, if you press it, you can change it to night, which would dim them, or you can go to auto, so it automatically, when you put your lights on, I believe it automatically dips the dash light, so you're not dazzled. Might as well leave it on auto now. And then it says voice something length. I haven't found out what that is. It's got brief and detail, but I don't know. I swear it's not got. There's no buttons on anywhere around here to say it's got voice control. Lights, headlights. That leaves on your daytime running lights. Auto, I assume it's got a sensor on the windscreen somewhere for automatically bringing on your lights when it gets to dusk. And parking light, I presume you press one of these indicators to see whether you want your left or right hand side on. And then you've got your fog lights, presumably the rear. Don't know what that does. I ain't going to press it. Well, I will press it. It does nothing. Then you've got indicators. A lot of people complain about these. I think they're really good. So you press it once, leaves it on, press it again to cancel it, double click it, it gives you, I think, 3 flashes, and then self cancels. I lie like a mule. Well, it did when I was on the road anyway. Same for the left hand indicator. This is your flash, so you just press it to flash to acknowledge somebody to move or thank them, for those people who bother to do that. And then when you've got your lights on, if you press it again, it'll leave the main beam on. Bumpy road setting, unbelievable. So as you can see, you press it and it lets you know that you're in bumpy road mode. Press it again and it just gets you out and puts you into sport mode. I do think it should start up in bumpy road mode, if I'm honest, because you do find yourself, because you're not going to drive it hard all the time, I do find myself pressing it to put it into bumpy road mode when I first set off, because if well, I live in quite a bumpy road area. Engine stop start, and then obviously all the different race modes. I haven't even used this yet. So race tells you you're in race, CT off, and then call an ambulance. That turns everything off. I only just twist. It doesn't hold it in that position. Oh, it puts it on. So if you twist it round, it turns it off. Anyway, race, and then wet weather, which helps you out tremendously. I've only had one little slip, so if I do it again for you, I don't know if you can see it all. Yes, you can. So twist it sport, which is what I always have it in because I'm a wimp. Race, CT off, and then flick it round. It doesn't hold in ESC off. It only it rotates back to CT off. So if I twist it, you have to go right round. OK to close, and then twist it right round again. ESC on. So back into sport. Over here you've got another menu. So you've got I don't know why they keep the switches different. This side you rotate, and this side you have to push. I don't know why they don't just keep it like to the same personally. So if you go to your main menu, this one is about the vehicle status, I should call it, as it probably gives a clue. So that's your tyre pressures. If you see at the very bottom, just to the rear of the image of the car, you've got 4 dots. One of them's highlighted. If I go over to the far one, that's your speed, which is what I leave it on. Don't really wish to know what the tyre pressures are when I'm driving all the time. Go across again. That's obviously oil. I don't know if that's pressure, I think it is. And battery status, 14.1, which is good. Volts, and then your oil and water temperatures. I'll turn it off because I won't leave it on, because otherwise it won't work. So come out of that. So that's the far one. Press the button to go over. Trip. So that gives you your maximum speed, your average speed, distance travelled, time travelled on your journey, and the range of the fuel, which is with just over half tank, is 198. And flick over, you've got trip B. That gives you again the same stuff, but I guess you use them as you wish. And then if we go back again, if you rotate once more, VDA, don't know what this is, apologies, but it's auto learning. Don't know, it must be something to do with the driving, and it learns how you drive. Go over again, this is in the same menu. F1 track, EDIF, F1 DC, as you can read the rest, don't need to read them out to you. And then the last one is your lap. If you're on track, I guess you can use that function. This one, I thought initially it was for a pit lane, for a track focus, but it's actually, I don't know if it's the Italian sense of humour, it's actually your cruise control. So again, you press and hold to get it to come on, and then when you set it, you twist it, that will set your cruise control speed, and then you obviously rotate it round to increase and then to decrease. There's no radar cruise control, I don't think it's fitted to Ferraris. And then if you go to left once more, turbo, I'll press it, it just tells you what pressure you're up to. If you're going to go fast, I don't think you'd want to watch or get distracted from that. It's got other displays, do the turbo response, and then turbo efficiency. And if we go back, you've got your setup. Now this is hugely confusing. So you've got dimming of the lights, right display, digital speed, speedometer time. I guess that's what you want to be displayed there. You can change it. Go back. Oh, I always do that. Let's just go into dimming, see what it does say, because I haven't been in. So that's your light, how bright you want them. Right display we've done. Date and hour, that's to set your time. I had to go into Ferrari Solihull too. A big thank you for them. They adjusted the time because I couldn't figure it out, but I was trying to do it whilst I was driving. Apparently you have to be stationary. Common sense, didn't use it, hey ho. Language, I guess that's for adjusting the language if it's in different countries. Measurements, we'll have a look on here. Distance in miles, which is what I'd want. Don't do kilometres. Temperatures, that's crazy. I'd have it in that anyway. And pressures, bar or PSI. I would change that. I prefer PSI to bar. Old school maybe. Going down again. Car settings. I've never been in here, by the way. Parking sensors. Auto under 6 miles an hour. Quite a good idea. Door locks. Oh, I just clicked it. Well, unclick it because it locks when I want it to. Doors unlock. Drivers only all. It's quite a good idea, I suppose. And then if you come down again, speed limit off. Bloody right. Excuse my French. I guess that's, you can set it so you've been warned when you're going into a 30 zone, 40 zone, etc. Auto hazard, I don't know whether that's to do with the sat nav, I don't think so. Buzzer volume, I haven't heard anything to be honest. Let's go up a bit, shall we? Coming down again, light sensor, blimey, I don't know what that is. RPM on steering, yeah, I think that's the lights, I'm not sure, and that's the bottom. So we've exhausted all those different menus. So this is the back button, then turbo, I press that, that happens. I think it just takes you directly to the turbo screen. I've changed it to PSI instead of bar, so it must do the tyre pressures and the turbo. VDA, that happens, that's your lapse time. As we went through this menu, that one and that screen again. So that's that one exhausted. And down here the air conditioning is not bad. When you start it up, because I've got it on auto, it forces the air through, so it's really loud, and you have to just rotate it back one and then do that to get it to go back. But they're both on auto. I've not really used it much. I've just left it on the lowest temperature because it's been roasting in the UK recently. So that's to rotate, to do your temperature. Auto, self-explanatory. See what I mean? I only rotated it and it's firing it up. And as you can see, it's very loud. Air conditioning, mono. I think that's to for your dual control. So passenger, they're cold, and they can have a different temperature to what the driver's got it set at. Fan speed, heated rear window, which is quite small, just there. If we look down here, there's a button to raise that in 3 stages. So its highest one is that, middle one is that, and that's all the way down. You just press it, and it does go up in, it sort of goes up in stages, but it's got 3 positions. Heated front windscreen, which I think is this here, if you can see it. Sometimes that can be the aerial for the radio though, so I'm not sure. It might just be that it actually puts all the heat, which I think it is actually, I think it puts all the energy to clear the windscreen out the front air vents. So it's not like a Land Rover where they've got heated front windscreen. I'm talking rubbish. I haven't paid much attention to these because I've just left it on face because I don't really want cold feet, etc. But I guess you can either have it going up the screen and to your face, just to your face, down to your feet and to your face. And I think that, I don't know what these go to, up and down, and then the same for the passenger. I'll leave that shut because it for some reason when you got the air vent shut or air recirculation turned on, it makes the air conditioning more effective. Reverse, auto, launch control, hazard lights, electric windows for driver and passenger. If we go, it's not one touch on the passenger, which is, I don't know, no, it is down but not up. Whereas the driver's side, it's auto to come up and it's auto to go down. I don't know why they don't make it the same. This one is for the wind deflector if you like, and that's for your roof control, which I will demonstrate for you now. So I'll put you out so you can see it, and I'll operate the roof. I haven't really got anywhere to put you really. I'll go down here and hopefully it picks it up. I haven't used this camera much, but I will take this to see what you can see. This comes up with a little screen which works on Bluetooth, so you can see what you're recording. So that was closing. A little bit low down to appreciate it properly, but sadly I haven't got anywhere to put you. Better I could stand you on the car really. So I'll do it for you there. No, because I polished it, bodywork's all slippery. But we'll go back in and I'll operate it with you in the vehicle. So you just press and hold. I think with most convertibles, I keep going the wrong way, so this is opening it. It lowers the windows, lifts up the stove for the roof. And then lastly, as people have commented before, for some reason and you get a reassuring message in case you didn't realise that the roof is now open. So that will conclude this part of it with the interior, and then we'll go for a little drive.